Julie C. Day's novella, The Rampant, is a Lambda Award finalist. Her collection, Uncommon Miracles, was praised by Nathan Ballingrud, John Crowley, and Kelly Link. She's published stories in magazines such as Podcastle, The Dark, and the Cincinnati Review. She is series editor and publisher of the Dreams Anthology series. Julie, take it away.
Be on mute. There we go. Now I've got the timer already started, so we're good. I'm going to read from my upcoming story coming out in Black Static called Whole Bodies Are Never Left Behind. Reaching the ocean. The house slumped across its lot, a worn-out carcass, stretches of graying wooden bone exposed. After 7 highways in 6 states, the 3 of them, Minnow, Mama, and Annabelle, had finally reached Cape Cod, Massachusetts, just as Mama had promised they would. This place was what Great Uncle Tobias called his rental property, whatever its name. Definitely wasn't their real home. It's okay, Annabelle. Clutching the cat to his chest, Minnow stared at the house. He pressed his lips against one of her flattened ears, breathing in her oily, dry fur scent. But even Annabelle couldn't disguise the musty odor of rot and salt water that flooded in from all directions. Minnow understood that everything died. As Mama kept reminding him, it was basic biology. Just another one of those textbook facts of yours, Minnow. Still, he felt uneasy. Words could hide as much as they revealed, especially Mama's words. You're going to love it, Minnow, Mama had said before they got into the U-Haul and drove away from Kentucky, and everything he'd ever known. Cross my heart. Cape Cod is surrounded by ocean, nothing like dusty old Russellville. Pretty soon you won't even remember this town. Like most people Minnow met, Mama acted as though she could promise away all the hard stuff, especially those bodies that rested beneath the Maple Grove Cemetery. Getting back to normal, called it. Moving on. Minnow's Campbell Biology 12th edition textbook was just the same. College level, Mama had said, sounding strangely proud when she paid for his class. Yet 1,263 pages later, Minnow had uncovered no more than 4 pages on mass extinction events, and just a scattering of paragraphs on detritivores and their consumption of non-living organic material, followed by a brief mention of nutrition cycle, or nutrient cycle. The word death didn't appear even once in the book. As it turned out, despite 6 authors' worth of scientific text, it was easier to pretend all those people, those dead and gone people, were nothing more than a substrate where new life could breed. Grandpa never tried to lie. And now he didn't have that choice. Grandpa no longer had lips or a tongue or that strange folding organ called a brain. A biological fact. One day, Minnow's tendons and muscles would separate and his soft tissues would entirely fall away. Bones revealed, just like Grandpa. That's what graveyards and dead relatives and all those headstones in the Maple Grove Cemetery were all about. The call of bone to bone. Yet, somehow, one state line after another, Mama kept promising it all away. And now here she stood on the street in front of their new home, battling the U-Haul's ramp, oblivious to the rotting truth. Cape Cod was nothing but an oceanic graveyard. It sent an endless scream of, please remember me. No matter what Mama said, Russellville and the Maple Grove Cemetery had definitely not been left behind. God damn it to hell. Mama kicked the truck's rear bumper with one sandaled foot, then winced as she stubbed her toe. I thought you said I shouldn't swear, Minnow said. Sorry, baby. Mama glanced his way, pushed her long, sweat-soaked hair from her forehead. This kind of stuff makes me totally crazy. That's why you let Grandpa do it. Right. Well, not anymore. Mama turned back to the truck. Minnow tightened his grip on Annabelle, felt the solidity of her ribs and vertebrae, along with the vibration of her low and growl. I got this. Just watch. Mama bent down yet again and yanked on the ramp's handle one more time. The ramp groaned its resistance, then shuddered, as though fighting her living touch. Then, finally, the aluminum frame shook loose, the ramp sliding all the way to the cracked tarmac of Archer Street. All right, Mama pumped her fist. Did you see that, baby? Did you? Home sweet home. She stepped inside the truck, grabbed a cardboard box, and carried it down the ramp. Despite the optimistic words, her smile looked stiff, lips, muscles, and collagen fighting to maintain an upward tilt. Perhaps he and Grandpa weren't the only ones to recognize Mama's lies. The plan, Mama called her story. The plan was to head toward the ocean and only stop once we almost tumble in. She said their new life on Cape Cod was going to be a vacation all year long. But words were like ligaments, they twisted beneath the skin. In all those hours in the truck, there'd been no mention of putrid ocean smells and enraged Annabelles poised to run. Minnow wasn't surprised. Adult promises were useless things. Except for Grandpa's. Maybe that's why Mama had hated him so much. Urgh. Annabelle dug her claws into Minnow's chest, then bared her teeth and hissed. Mama, I need to lock her inside. Minnow stopped. What to say? How to explain? Here at their new house, instead of normal things like gravel or asphalt, crushed bits of shell covered the short driveway. Fragments of death piled atop one another. What? She might cut herself. The driveway looks sharp. Minnow shrugged, glanced away. It's just broken oyster shells, Minnow. You like seashells. Mama walked past him toward the house, a box clasped in her arms. I really need you to put Annabelle down and grab something from the truck. You're 12 now, more than big enough to help. Minnow frowned, noting the red starbursts on his t-shirt, blood welling up from his Annabelle scratches. Then he shrugged and kissed the top of her furry head. Their new house was strange, small, with a steeply pitched roof that Mama called Cape style. Capes were for superheroes. That's what Minnow thought. And all those Marvel movies definitely agreed. But in this place, Cape style described a driveway filled with white and gray calcified remains. Best buried and forgotten. That's what Mama had said to Great Uncle Tobias the night after Grandpa's funeral procession along Russellville's Main Street, the gaping rectangular hole in the ground. Minnow was supposed to be asleep upstairs. His bedroom window stood open, the windowsill filled with all those whole and unblemished shells Uncle Tobias had brought back to Kentucky whenever he visited his hometown. The spiraling turret shell and the handful of periwinkles, the rough textured clamshell and the oversized conch. Yet another biological fact found in the Campbell's Biology 12th edition. Shells held the shape of each living creature, snail or mollusk, even after scavengers had consumed their flesh. And that's where I'll stop.